Coming up on Pulse Check, we push refresh on the latest tech news, explore the community events happening right here in the Lanier cluster and Atlanta area, and we spotlight Lanier talent and athletics. All that and much more in this edition of Pulse Check, which starts right now. Good morning, Lanier, and welcome to Pulse Check. Let's kick off this episode by getting to Caleb Lefebvre with the latest tech news.
My name is Caleb Lefebvre, and today we're going to be talking about the HTC Vive. The HTC Vive is a virtual reality headset, sort of like the Oculus Rift, but an Oculus Rift. The HTC Vive has two sensors. It'll track your every movement, so you have more space to move other than the Oculus Rift. Another major difference between the Oculus Rift and the HTC Vive is that the HTC Vive has two strange-looking controllers that you can hold, and this is actually pretty accurate. The HTC Vive is currently going for $800 to $900. If you don't feel like spending $800 to $900 on equipment, you can buy something for $5, which is the Google Cardboard, which does pretty much the same thing. So yeah, have a good day.
Hey, I'm Barrylicious. I'm here to bring you the review of Zootopia. Zootopia is really just about an underdog bunny which is trying to make it in the world as a police officer. It was fantastic and I absolutely loved it. First of all, this movie had amazing animation. The quality level is really up to like a Pixar standard. Second of all, the story is really great and adventurous. It's really intriguing and it's really well layered, and there's really multiple tidbits that the adults can love, but there's still those qualities for kids to love too. And it's really well adapted into this animal-styled format, which is really funny. And third of all, the characters are really great. Judy Hopps and Nick Wilde both have really good chemistry together, and you really care for them. They're really charismatic characters. So overall, I love this movie. I highly recommend it. It's perfect for the whole family. It reminds me of films such as Monsters, Inc. and Inside Out, since it's so clever and it's mature. It's really a perfect family movie in which the parents and children can enjoy. I highly recommend it. Give it an 8.9 out of 10.
Hello everyone, I'm Michael Deku and welcome to Community Corral, where we feature local Lanier and Atlanta events that we think will interest you. First, we start with baseball. The Gwinnett Braves season begins in only 19 days on April 7th at Norfolk. Their home opener at Cooley Field is scheduled for April 14th, just 26 days away. Further out to the Atlanta Braves, they begin their season April 4th, just 16 days away against their division rival Washington at the TED. Tickets go for as little as $15. Finally, for a wrap of our sporting events happening in our local area, the Gwinnett Gladiators host the Greenville Swamp Rabbits tomorrow at 7 p.m. in the Infinite Energy Center, and again Sunday versus the Florida Everblades starting at 2. That's all the time we have to check up on community events. Till next week, I'm Michael Deku with WLLN.
Still to come on this edition of Pulse Check, we spotlight Lanier talent and athletics. We explore the amazing things Lanier students are doing in their academy classes, and we have the exclusive interview with Mayor Steve Edwards for this edition of We Are Lanier. All that and much more to come on Pulse Check.
Please donate to help an animal farm rescue. We accept any pet food items, hamster bedding and food, dried beans, birdseed, peanuts, crackers, gently used towels or blankets, and cages for all animals. Items do not have to be brand new. Please bring items to Mrs. Lanier's room on the 3rd floor. All items will benefit local animal farms, so if you have any items, that would be greatly appreciated. If you have any questions, see Mrs. Lanier, Mrs. Battle, or an environmental club member. Now, back to the show.
Welcome to Pulse Checks, Lanier's Got Talent. I'm your host, Phelan Turner, and today we're joined by Cassandra Sam, the school winner of Poetry Out Loud, who will be advancing to the state competition this weekend. How did you get involved with Poetry Out Loud?
So my freshman year, Mr. Cushfield was my language arts teacher, and he coordinates Poetry Out Loud at Lanier High School. He encouraged me to do it, and I'm so happy I did.
Did you always have a knack for poetry, or were you surprised when you got into Poetry Out Loud? How'd that happen?
Actually, I never really had a knack for poetry. When I first dipped my toes in Poetry Out Loud, I just fell in love with it, and I never looked back.
What advice would you have for somebody that's maybe hesitant about joining Poetry Out Loud, but kind of wants to get into it?
Definitely do it. There's nothing bad that could come out of doing Poetry Out Loud, and if you look through the website, there's thousands of poems to choose from, and I'm sure you'll fall in love with at least one of them.
Cassandra will be competing at the state level for Poetry Out Loud at the Atlanta History Center on March 20th. Cassandra Sam, everybody.
Students in the Global Business and Leadership Academy are doing awesome things for an awesome cause. Miss Battle's GBL Academy group is working with the foundation When Everyone Survives, or WES, in order to raise money to provide cancer patients with care packages to be delivered to them in the hospital. Last week, the Academy group held a bake sale to raise money. However, they are still asking for donations for items that will go into the care packages.
We're seeking donations for lotions, chapstick, blankets, books, magazines, crossword puzzles, letters of encouragement and strength, and artwork that they can add to their rooms. We're excited this year to partner with WES, When Everyone Survives, to help support leukemia research. The students have worked really hard to put together some fundraising efforts and are excited to make an impact in the community.
All items can be brought in Miss Battle's room in 807. Staying in the GBL Academy, Coach Hendrick's Academy group is teaming up with the North Gwinnett Co-op for a food drive benefiting the co-op. The drive began this Monday and will run through March 31st.
We are teaming up with the Gwinnett Co-op to help families in need right here, near and around our own community, Sugar Hill, Swanee, Buford. And the main thing that we're doing is a food drive. And so we encourage students, parents, everybody that can to bring in food to help us out that we can donate to the Gwinnett Co-op.
Be generous. You know, this is not a hard thing to do. We ask just to bring in extra food that you have. It's always a good time, especially at the start of spring, to clean out the pantry. So just be generous. Bring us your extra food.
Items can be donated into boxes located throughout Lanier. If you have any questions, please see Coach Hendricks on the 3rd floor. For Academy News, I'm Sarah Gately, WLLN.
Welcome to Sport News. I'm Dorian Newchurch. We begin this edition of Sport News with baseball. Today, the varsity baseball team takes on Winterboro right here at the Wrench, starting at 5:55 p.m. On to soccer now. Thus far, our boys and girls varsity soccer teams have been representing Lanier very well. We talked with Coach Allen to ask him what he thought of this season thus far and what he sees in the future.
Season's been going pretty good. We are working through a lot of youthfulness. Last year's team lost a lot of leadership, a lot of upperclassmen. So this year we're averaging 6 or 7 freshmen starting a game, which presents its own obstacles, but basically the experience obstacle, which they're quickly adjusting to, coming together as a team pretty quickly and really doing some good things on the field. We want to see continued competition on the field. We want to see production, not only individually, but as a team, a unit working for each other, communication, but also off the field together, supporting each other in the classroom, holding each other accountable. That will translate onto the soccer field, ending in pretty good results. And we hope if we knock the right amount of goals in that we're in the playoffs at the end of this season.
Check out the board right outside the athletics office to see when your Longhorn golfers, track stars, tennis, soccer, and baseball players play next. Until next week for Sport News, I'm Dorian Newchurch, WLLN.
Money. You don't have to say it. No more rapping's hot. I don't have to rhyme to make this work. You don't have to say it. I know my rapping's fly. I don't have to rhyme to make this work. Back again. Rhyme so fire. It's a sin. I forget my lyrics all the time. I can't even remember how to make this rhyme. You don't have to say it. No more rapping's hot. I don't have to rhyme to make this work. You don't have to say it. I know my rapping's fly. I don't have to rhyme to make this work. Here we go. Words. Words, 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 words. Rhyming so fast with all them words. All the time, saying words. Words all the time. Words, 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 words. You don't have to say it. No more rapping's hot. I don't have to rhyme to make this work. You don't have to say it. I know my rapping's fly. I don't have to rhyme to make this work.
thank you very much for joining us for this edition of Pulse Check. As always, you can follow us on Twitter at LHS This Morning for the most up-to-date breaking news, sports, entertainment, and much more when you need it the most. So for all of us here at WLLN and Pulse Check, I'm Andy Cole. Don't go far. This week's edition of We Are Lanier with Mayor Steve Edwards starts right now.
My name is Steve Edwards. I'm the mayor of Sugar Hill.
So what made you decide to run for mayor?
What made me decide to run for mayor? I think because I genuinely care and have a passion for the city of Sugar Hill. And I want to continue its growth, its success. And before mayor, I was a city council member for 10 years. And the mayor before me decided to retire because he had 2 young boys and he wanted to spend more time with them. With me, it was the opposite. My 2 kids are off in college, so it made sense for me to run for mayor. And really, being mayor has a lot of responsibility to it, but the key to the success of being a good mayor and having a good city with progressive ideas and being competitive is having a good team. I've got a good city council, and we all share that same vision and strategy, how to take our city to that next level. And we've got a great management team in place and great employees. And I think having that combination will make us a real successful city.
How does the city partner with Lanier High School?
I'm a person that believes it's all about relationships. I've got a relationship with Lanier High School that goes way back when Lanier High School first started. I was a touchdown club president for the first 2 years. And I saw it from when it was small to now it's big time. I constantly talk to Dr. Gresham and some administrators there, teachers. And I think that's important too. We keep that kind of relationship going.
What's your vision for the city?
My vision for the city is to create a unique experience for somebody who wants to live here or work here. We do a lot of things very different than other cities. And what comes to my mind is how we're creating downtown now, how we're engaging different businesses to move to our downtown. And talk about unique. The city is doing a lot of unique things. What comes to my mind first is what we're doing with our amphitheater and back. And we built it too small, so now we're building it to where we're going to be able to fit more people in there. And I think people are going to realize that Sugar Hill is not a small, sleepy little town anymore. We built the amphitheater to give ourselves some brand identity. It's like when Lanier High School first started. Nobody knew who Lanier High School was, or the Lanier Cluster. Now, people definitely know who Lanier Cluster is and what we're all about.
So what are your duties as mayor?
My job as mayor is to run the city council meetings, and I've got a fiduciary responsibility to the taxpayers of Sugar Hill to make sure that I invest of their tax money wisely and to lead the city's charge to be a successful city, to compete in today's market for jobs, for bringing more families into Sugar Hill. Also, part of my job is to talk to developers and share our story and carry the flag for Sugar Hill.
what do you mean? Oh, when you nod your head yes, but you wanna say no, what do you mean? Hey, yeah, when you don't want me to move, but you tell me to go, what do you mean? Oh, what do you mean? Said you're running out of time, what do you mean? Oh, 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 what do you mean? Better make up your mind, what do you mean? You're so indecisive, what I'm saying. Trying to catch the beat, make up your heart. Don't know if you're happy or complaining. Don't want for us to win, where do I start? First you wanna go